Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game? Featuring Knitting Circle. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you an overview of how the game is played, and then share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add Knitting Circle to your collection. This is the game Knitting Circle, and it's a calico game. And in this game, we are gathering our different yarn to knit different items. So on our player board here, we start with 2 yarn. Then these are some, the buttons we're working towards, so for points. So if it has a pink and a green, I could add this button. This one is looking for a blue, yellow, green. Then we have patterns, so we have stripes or symmetry. There is also solid and color blocking, which I'll talk about later. And then this relates to what type of garment, if it's a scarf or a sock. So when we start, we can pick one garment to work on. And because I had a sock there, I might start with a sock. And you would pick 2, and they're exactly the same, but they have different bonuses on the bottom. So this one allows me to get an extra piece, and this one I would score 1 point for every 2 light blue yarn pieces there are in my garments across the board. I might go for the extra piece since it's early in the game. So I would put this in a play area, and I would put my knitting needles on it. Now we are allowed to be doing 2 garments at once, but I sometimes find it easier just to work at one at a time. The additional one that I did not use will go underneath and back into the pile. So we are ready to start collecting. We're going to collect 4 yarn. Now, keeping in mind, these are the colors I'm really looking towards, so I can add buttons onto my finished garment to get points. So I am the gray cat, and my opponent is the white cat. Now I can move 1 to 2 spaces per turn. So knowing that I'm going to go after green and pink, I'm going to just move 1 spot to pick up a green. Now, however orientation you pick it up, you leave that orientation here. So that is on the knit side. When you were placing them out, you can see it's like knit and purl, and it rotates around. So my opponent might go, and they may want a blue piece. So they might go here and get the blue piece. So for my second piece, I know I'm still after that pink. I'm going to go 1. I'm going to add the pink to my area. Then they could go 2 to get the other green. Now I might go 2 to get this green. They could go 2 to get, say, the yellow. And I will go, I have a choice. I can go 1 or 2 to get a knit and purl. So when you look here, you see they want knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. So you might be trying to figure out how you're going to do it. But there is a way that you'll be able to fix it later. So I'll show you in a minute. So maybe I'm going to get the purl one. So I would move 2 to get the purl. And then my opponent would just move and get their last piece. So the collecting part is over. So the drafting phase. So now we're moving into the crafting phase. And this is where we're moving things over here. So we know I have pink and green. So I was able to collect pinks and greens. So I have a choice to do stripes or symmetry. So stripe would be putting pink, green, pink, green, pink. That would be a stripe. Symmetry would be I could do 2, I could do like green, pink, yellow, pink, green, and then have it goes the same up or down. I think for this one I'm going to stick with stripes, and we're making a sock, so that would be that button. So I could go, how do I want to do this? I realized I picked up the opposite sides. So anyway, so what I can do is I can use one of my pieces to flip a piece. So first off, here, I can use this pink. Whatever's in your basket, you can do it as knit or purl. So I can use this pink because I know I have 1, 2, 3 pinks and 2 greens. I'm going to have to start with a pink. So that pink goes onto the knit. I have a green purl, so I can put it on the green purl. But now I need a pink knit, and I only have purls. So that's where this extra piece comes in. I can trade in this piece, put it away, back into this bag, to flip any pieces I want to flip. So I'm going to be flipping this piece to knit, and then I'm going to flip. And then by doing that, I'm actually able to get another piece out of the bag. So, oh, I got a green. So then I can flip this piece to purl because I had spent that piece, and I can flip this piece to knit. Now I was able to complete the whole thing. However, once you hit this spot here, you can stop and it would still be done. You would only receive 1 point. If you go here, you get 3 points. If you complete it all, you get 6 points. But as long as you go here, you would still get the bonus at the bottom. So when I go to put my buttons on, I would put this button because I used pink and green. I would put this button because it's stripes. And I would put this button because it is a sock. I would also gain a piece out of the bag to add. You are allowed to keep 2 pieces in your basket at the end of the turn. Next, I'm going to refill my buttons. So I get a yellow button. This one just wants green. I get the blue. I have another one with symmetry. And I get a thing, and it's going to be long johns. So I just want to show, so I did the stripe, but if I was to do symmetry, I just want to show you some patterns. I could put this here, and then now it goes pink, green, blue, green, pink, or from the bottom, pink, green, blue, pink, green, pink. That's symmetry. I could do color blocking, and that would be, say you have all your pinks and then all your greens together. That would be color blocking. Solid would just be, it would be all pink. So if I was doing solids, I might only do that. So those are some of the different patterns you were working towards. So I had done stripes. I'm just going to flip it back. Now to get a new pattern, I have to have a yarn piece that matches the color. So because these are the ones I'm working on, blue is long johns, I can spend my blue piece and put it back and then get 2 long john patterns, turn it over and decide which one. This one would give me 4 points, and this one gives me 2 points per garment type with 2 buttons, I think it is. So then I would just add that to my area and put the knitting needles. Now because I completed this one, those knitting needles are back up for grabs. Then you would just refill this. You would move everything up and refill. You would start with, I think, this, your main cat, whoever was first, and just refill it so each area has 2 pieces. Just grab 2 more pieces like that. Now there's also over here this grabby paw, and what this lets you do is to go into the bag and get the exact color you need. So if I only had 2 pinks and 2 greens, but I really want to finish it, I could use my grabby paw to get a pink out of the bag to add to that. Or if I didn't have a blue and I needed a color to get a new pattern, I could use the grabby paw to get the piece I need that I could then spend on a piece. So these are benefits that you'll get as you complete things. So like down here, if I get to the bottom, I would get an additional grabby paw. There, if you have that, that's when you get to pull, just randomly pull a new piece out of the bag. And you would just keep playing. It plays, oh, sorry, I forgot one part. So at the beginning of the game, sorry, I forgot about this. You have all the colors of the yarn in the middle. I'm just going to put a yellow here and change this up. And so whoever goes first gets to pick a color they want and replace it somewhere in there. And that is how you count the rounds. You have 6 rounds to the game. So whoever's first, if I was really looking for this blue, I could trade this out here. So then on my turn, I could go and get that blue. And so then whoever's the next player to go first, they would pick a color that's left, place it where they want, and it's usually a color you want to get. So that is the rounds. And so you do that at the top of the game. I'm sorry, I forgot to add that. Now, if by chance you have a pattern, but you didn't fulfill one of these goals, then you get an ugly button. And at the end of the game, it is -3 points. Now, I've played this game a few times and never have I ever gotten an ugly button. You can typically, you just need to add a green piece to it and you'll get a button. So I'm pretty confident that you will be ugly buttonless during your games. So anyway, that is basically, oh right, sorry, I keep adding more things. There are these little objectives that you can get. So it's, everybody is trying to get it whenever you complete it. So you have 4 full-length garments. That means completing the entire length, how I showed you. 4 garments containing the same color. So if I had green, I'd have 4 garments with green. I could claim this. 2 sweaters with completely different colors and patterns, no overlap. Or 4 of the same pattern type. So that's like stripes and stuff. And so the first player to get it would get an extra little paw, and then you turn it over, and everybody who gets it is able to score the 5 points. It's just whoever does it first gets to get the extra grabby paw. So those objectives are there throughout the game for you to work towards. And now that is basically everything involved with Knitting Circle. Now there is a solo mode to the game, which is very easy. You would take your turn, and then you have this piece, and one side is purl, and one side is knit. And you would just flip it, and then the other cat would go to the first spot that matches the pattern and take the top piece. And that is it. Then you take your turn as normal, and then you would just flip it. And if they were there, then they would jump ahead if somebody was blocking their way. But typically it's within the 2 spots. You're just flipping this little tile, and whatever the pattern is, they go to the next spot with that pattern and they take the top spot. And that is all there is to the solo mode. So now I'm going to talk about things I liked and disliked about the game. And the first thing I want to talk about is these player boards. When I opened this package, there's 4 of them. I literally threw these aside and looked inside the game. And then I had to go searching for the player boards to realize that this was the player board. What happened to having nice player boards? I don't understand this little cardstock piece. Calico has a dual layer player board. This one, you're putting pieces here, you're putting pieces here, you're putting pieces in your little basket. Why can't we have a nice player board? I am not impressed by these player boards. Now having these, a similar paper, sure, because there's a whole pile of them, I'm fine with that. But the actual player board, I expect more from companies, and I am not impressed. So I've been waiting for this game for a year. I love Calico. Calico is one of my favorite games to play solo, and when I heard there's a new Calico game, I was so excited. We filmed this a year ago at Gen Con. I backed it on Kickstarter. I was so excited. And I got the game this week and I opened it and I played it instantly and I was underwhelmed. There's no thinking to this game. Calico, you think and your brain hurts and it's great. And this game, I'm just like randomly picking things. My lowest score in this game was an 80. And according to their board, like that's high. So I'm not exactly like, as I said with the ugly cat buttons, how do you not fulfill one of your things? Like there was times where maybe I only did one on a thing, sometimes two, but typically I am able to get all three on a thing, on one of my garments. And so I don't really know where the big challenge is. Now, I played the game primarily solo because that's why I got the game. And so they have scenarios, sort of like Cascadia, and they tell you to use different cards. So when it came to points, it was way down here if you got 70 plus. The very first time I played, I got 80. So I'm like, I'm not going to work through all of these. Then it was like score 25 from garments. I'm like, I already did that. 15 from buttons, yes. And so finally I made it down to this one, score 10 from request cards. So I did that. I had a score of over 100. And there are some challenges down here, like don't knit any yellow. Okay, maybe that's a bit more of a challenge. But there's not enough in this game, really, for me personally, to want to do this. And so I'm disappointed because I so much was looking forward to this game. Now, with that being said, if you're looking for a light game, then maybe you will enjoy this game. I was just sort of underwhelmed. I've played a game called Arch Ravels, which is about knitting. And I would, if I'm looking for a knitting themed game, I would much rather play that game. It had a lot more challenges to it. This one, I'm disappointed because I was very excited. So that is why I have a higher sense of disappointment in this game. I already know I'm not keeping this game. I'm going to be selling it. But you know, if you are looking for something lighter, maybe you will enjoy the game. I just find personally with the level of games I played that it's just too simple for me and it just doesn't give me that satisfaction at the end of a game. And it, you know, I'm not happy about that because I love Calico so much. But this is sort of an entry-level game into the Calico family. And all this is just my personal opinion. You may love this game and think it's so much fun, and that's great because we all want to have fun playing games. However, personally, for me, it is just a little too light for the level of games I like to play. So let me know if you've played Knitting Circle and what you think of this game.